all, let us express our gratitude to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Alhamdulillah for letting us be here. Alright, so last week we have discussed about the meaning of ibadah. Okay, basically we have finished our first syllabus of Aqidah. Alright, so now we will discuss on the scope of al-ibadah. Okay, so the specialty or the special characteristic about ibadah in Islam is that ibadah in Islam is divided into two scopes. So the first scope of ibadah in Islam is known as specific ibadah. Okay, or ibadah al-khassa, they call it in Arabic. Okay, you know, have you ever heard the term of secularism? Secularism means the separation between life and religion. Okay, the separation between the world and the hereafter. Or in the West, before in America, for example, the separation between the state and also the church. Okay, so these people always want to separate between our life, they call it as profane, or between the religion, they call it sacred. So it is the separation between the sacred and the profane. Alright, but in Islam, you know what is special about Islam? Everything in Islam is considered as ibadah. So there is no such thing as, you know, Islamic secularism, for example. Okay, these are two contradictory terms. Just like people say, for example, Islamic feminism, there is no such thing as Islamic feminism. Yeah, because when you say Islamic feminism, it is like saying Islamic alcohol. There is no Islamic alcohol. Yeah, or there is no Islamic gambling, for example. Gambling is haram, and something which is haram cannot be made Islamic. Okay, or Islamic riba, for example. Okay, there is no such thing. Alright, so ibadah al-khassa, it consists of ritual practices which are obliged to each Muslim and are considered as devotional action. For example, salat, zakat, fasting, and performing haji. Basically, ibadah al-khassa or specific ibadah refers to the 5 pillars of Islam. Okay, ranging from the salat until the pilgrimage, the hajj. So when you perform any of these pillars, so you are performing the specific ibadah. Okay, and the second one, which is even wider in scope, is called general ibadah or ibadah al-amal. Okay, it refers to all permissible action as long as they are in accordance with the law of Allah. Okay, and good intention can change habit or custom to ibadah. For example, zikir, performing charity, and so on. If you still remember, in Syariah department, I have launched basically Islamic Weekly Fun Fact. And last 2 weeks, I have put something in our WhatsApp group. I mentioned, you know, sitting in the masjid, for example, can be for 2 reasons. It can be for the reason of relaxing, okay, or spending time to read books, for example. But it can also be a form of ibadah, but it depends on your intention. But of course, when you have changed your intention, you must change the way you do that thing as well. Okay, let's say for example, you are eating without the intention of ibadah, people might be eating like this. But when you have changed the eating as part of ibadah, so it has to change. Okay, alright. And in Quran also Allah mentioned, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Allah said, I have never created jinn and mankind except to worship me. So the whole purpose of our creation is actually to worship Allah. And then people might ask question, if the whole purpose of my creation to worship Allah, does that mean I have to stay in the masjid 25 hours per day or 24 hours per day? No. And that's why ibadah is divided into 2 scopes. Yeah? Alright. So there are conditions of ibadah al-amal. So the question now, how do I transform my regular activity to be ibadah? Okay, the first condition is called, it must be a permissible action. But when we speak about permissibility, it is permissible by whom? That is the question. The action must be permissible by the Sharia. It is not permissible by the government, it is not permissible by the law, not even permissible by the office, for example. But it must be permissible by the law of Sharia, by Allah. Okay? So something which is considered haram, if you do that, it will not be considered as an act of ibadah. Okay? Alright, and number 2, it must be beneficial. So the same thing, it should be beneficial for whom? Or what should it benefit? Okay, I remember, you know, in my trip to Thailand before, you know, I met some of people there, and they mentioned to me, they said, you know, brother, prostitution is a very beneficial, you know, economic sector. Prostitution, which is true in one sense, it is beneficial to get profit, but it is not, beneficial as far as Islam is concerned. So according to Imam Al-Ghazali, beneficial or maslahah, it consists of consideration. Number 1, serve a benefit. It must be really beneficial. Okay, and you can simply use your common sense. For example, you know, going to a gambling center, for example. Okay, rationally speaking, is it good or bad? Even the king of gambling will say that it is bad. They know it. Yeah? Alright, and prevent from the harm. And it must contain 5 values, which are also known as the objective of Sharia, or in Arabic this is called maqasid Sharia. Yeah? Which should be promoted and protected against any harm which undermine their safety. Number 1 is religion. So any action that can harm our religion should not be done. And if you do it, it is not considered as ibadah. It is considered as maksiat. Let's say for example the act of syirik. The act of syirik is going to harm your religion or our religion, so don't do it. Yeah. Number 2 is yourself. We speak about smoking, for example. I know there are many ijtihad, there are many fatwa on smoking, but we can safely say that everybody agrees that smoking is bad for our health. Don't say about hukum yet. There are many argumentation on hukum. We cannot deny that. Okay, but in terms of the effect of smoking on health, everybody agrees that it is bad for your health. And in maqasid of Sharia, it is said that anything which is bad for yourself is supposed to be rejected. And number 3 is the lineage, or people sometimes use the word bloodline. For example, zina. Zina is bad for the bloodline, for the keturunan. It's going to harm the bloodline, so you cannot do it, right? And then the wealth, the same thing. We can touch on smoking here. Okay, spending money to buy something that is harmful for yourself and also harmful for your wealth is totally against the principle of maqasid Sharia. Yeah. And then number 5 is mind, or al-akal, your intellect. Okay, drinking alcohol, for example. Okay, drinking wine, for example, is going to make the mind disappear. You know, that's why people do crazy things when they are drunken. So in Islam, that is not considered as part of ibadah. Okay, number 3, sincerity of intention. You do everything for the sake of Allah, and how to do that is by the recitation of basmalah. So before you do anything, please recite Bismillah, because Bismillah means in the name of Allah. So when you do something, when you want to pick up your phone, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. So which means the action of you taking up your phone is considered as ibadah. But provided it must be permissible, beneficial, and you must be sincere. Can you say, for example, I punch you for the sake of Allah? Cannot do that. Number 1, because it is not permissible, yeah, to harm a person except for good reason. And number 2, it is not beneficial. Yeah. All right.
But what about if you use that punch as a reminder for someone? Let's say he is doing bad deeds.
Okay, you have to. Okay, in Islam, when we speak about dakwah has two dimensions. Okay, we have amar ma'ruf. Okay, amar ma'ruf means you promote the goodness, and number 2, nahi munkar. Nahi munkar means preventing the evil. So what the question that you asked me just now is number 2, dimension number 2, preventing the evil. And Prophet SAW mentioned in one of his hadiths, when you see a munkar, man ra'a munkaran falyughayyirhu biyadihi. Prophet say when you see a munkar, someone doing munkar, you should prevent that munkar by using your hand. But whenever Prophet say hand, it doesn't mean you go and slap that person. No. Okay, ulama says, the muhadithun says, the interpretation of the hadith, hand means authority. When you have authority. Okay, for example, our boss is the boss, the leader in the office. Whenever he sees a munkar, he can use the authority. I will deduct your salary, for example. Use the authority. Okay? And number 2, okay, and the Prophet said, Fabilisani. If you cannot do it, man lam yastati' fabilisani. If you cannot use your hand, meaning you don't have any authority, then you can use your lisan, your tongue, by giving the advice. And number 3, if you still cannot do it, you can use your heart. And Prophet said, wa huwa adhaful iman. And this is the weakest level of iman. Okay, so how to do nahi munkar with your heart? Is by disagreeing or by rejecting that action with your heart. You cannot agree, you must disagree. You must say, I'm not rebel with your action. Number 4, fulfilling the ethics. So whenever we do something, okay, you want your action to be considered as ibadah, you must do it with ethics. For example, every work must be done with necessary ethics, for example, punctuality of time. So when you come to office, for example, okay, you put your niat, I want my work in my office to be a part of ibadah. Yes, true. You recite Bismillah, and then suddenly you arrive at 10 a.m. late. Will that be considered as ibadah? No more. because you must follow the ethics, it's the punctuality of time. Except if you have emergency and you have permission from the superior. Yeah? Alright. And number 5, the last one, do not neglect the main responsibility. Okay? One must be able to perform duties towards Allah, family, and so on. Okay? If you have any work and the boss doesn't allow you to perform salat, it is wajib for you to find other job. Okay? You must not let your work, for example, to prevent you from performing your duties towards Allah. Or your family, for example. If you are a father, a mother, and then your work makes you really busy, you cannot spend any time with your family, then you should find another job. If you want it to be considered as part of ibadah. Okay, we will go to the next topic, which is this topic is requested by me yesterday. Yeah, so I will make it very simple, right? So the title today is the menace of liberalism. Yeah, a subtle attack on religion. Alright. So you can see the picture there. This is basically the struggle of liberalism. They want everybody to do anything that they want. Okay, so we can do it. Who cares what the Bible says? Alright. Okay, understanding liberalism derived from the Latin word liber. You know something interesting about Latin word? If you learn any science or any kind of knowledge which come from the West, they always derive their words from Latin or Roman. If you learn science, for example, the word science coming from the word Cynthia, which means knowledge, from Latin. If you learn philosophy, for example, it comes from the word Sophia, which means the wisdom, from Latin word as well. So why do these people keep derived from Latin and Romans? What is so special about Latin and Roman? Or about Greece and Roman? Okay, or Greece and Rome? What is so special about that? The same thing, if you learn the history, have you heard the word Dark Age?
Yes.
Zaman kegelapan they call it. Yes, Zaman kegelapan or Dark Age happened after the fall of Roman Empire. So when Roman is there, they call it Golden Age. Pax Romana, they call it. Yeah, the Golden Age of the Roman. But when Roman fell down, they call it Dark Age. Which means they are not happy. So why is these people crazy about Roman all the time? They want to revive the life of Romans. Which brings to the next question, what is the life of Roman? And why they want to revive the life in Roman time? You know, one of the popular practices in Roman lifestyle is what? Yeah, homosexuality. That should answer many questions already. Yeah, we will see after this, inshallah. So liberal refers to generous or tolerant attitude before 19th century. So the attitude which befit a gentleman, and liberal refers to flexible, which is good lah. I'm liberal, I'm flexible. Yeah, alright. So later it is coined to refer to the idea of freedom and liberty. I'm sure you have heard the word liberty, Statue of Liberty, for example. It's all about freedom. Okay, which will bring to the next question: what is freedom? Yeah, alright. Let's see first. Okay, what is liberalism? The ideology which promotes individual liberty and freedom. So what they want to do, they want to promote individual freedom. Everybody has freedom, you can do whatever you want. Is that good or not?
No.
Are you sure? Okay. Alright, human is a rational being, according to the liberal people. So they are capable of making their own decision. The third point is, human is free to do things according to his personal interest and well-being. So everybody has self-interest. My self-interest, for example, is money. So I can do whatever I want as long as I will get money. So human has capability of determining what is good, and most human incline towards goodness.
Most.
Yeah, which is true. Everybody wants to do something good, but you have to remember how to define good. What is good? To some people, taking riba from others is considered good. So it is the question of values and norms. So how do we define good and how do we define bad? In this world, we have two things in our life. Number one, we call it objectivity and relativity. Good and bad is here. Good and bad should be objective. Remember I give you the example of traffic light. Imagine traffic light, there are three colors: red, orange, green. And this is very objective. Red, you should stop. This one, you should ready to stop. This one, you go. But imagine if people say, no lah, I think red, you should go. So some people, they drive or they go during red. Some people stop during red. Some people stop here and then some people go. What will happen? Yeah, havoc and chaos. So this one should be objective. It cannot be relative. So good and bad should be objective. Yeah. So how does liberalism understand freedom? Okay, so what is freedom according to liberals? Okay, so they said freedom means an agent who is free from any obstacle to reach his goal. Okay, an agent here refers to that smiley, a person. Yeah. Okay, and then the obstacle is in the middle, and the goal there. Yeah. Alright. So according to liberalism, this obstacle in the middle should be removed. So this agent can reach to his goal, to their goal. Yeah. Alright. So agent refers to individual regardless of social group or class. So which means everybody. Yeah. So goal refers to the way individuals choose to live. This is even more problematic because in Islam our goal is very clear. Goal also must be objective. Goal cannot be subjective. Alright, understanding the European life during medieval age. Okay, during the medieval age or dark age, okay, there are two things which are very prominent in the Europe. It is called Christendom. Christendom is the combination of two words, Christianity and kingdom. So the Christian kingdom, Christendom, and then feudalism. Anybody knows what is feudalism? I hope you will know that later on. Yeah? Feudalism is like there is a leader and but this leader is not good leader. Yes, this landlord. Yeah. And here we have the peasant. Peasant refers to the farmer. And the landlord always oppresses the farmer. Yeah? Alright. So there are two obstacles to liberty and freedom. They are religion, refers to Christianity, and ascribed status or status quo. Remember something, you know, sometimes, have you ever heard religious pluralism?
Yes. Every religion are equal.
Yeah. Religious pluralism say, actually it is not every religion is equal. They said every religion is true. Yeah? So you can follow any religion, I have no problem. I accept all religion. Which has already violated the first principle of Islam, which is La ilaha illallah. You reject other religion, accept Allah. Yeah? Alright. So religion pluralism, that's not. Okay. So liberally, so status quo or ascribed status, you know, for example, this now, landlord, tuan tanah, and also peasant, the petani. When you are born in petani punya family, you cannot upgrade your status. You will become petani until you die. So according to them, this is not good. Of course lah, Islam also reject this. Yeah? Alright. So liberalism aims at removing these two obstacles to ensure freedom of everyone. So liberalism say, I don't want feudalism and I don't want religion. Because these two are obstacles towards the freedom. Yeah? Religious obstacle, the oppressive ruling of church. Church was very oppressive, especially Catholicism. Yeah? Alright. And then the branding of heretics and infidel. Each time people go against the church will brand them as heretics and infidel. Indulgent, sorry, misspelling. The selling of indulgent and corruption inside church institution. Indulgent here is not secret recipe cake. It's not chocolate indulgent. Indulgent here is, we call it surat pengampunan. Okay? The letter of what? It's called the letter of confession. When you do something wrong, okay, let's say I'm the Pope. Okay, I'm the Pope or priest. You came to me, and I will sell you the letter. You pay me, and then okay, your sin is forgiven. Yeah, alright. And then the excommunicating and killing of commoners in possession of Bible. You know, the church also prohibited people from keeping the Bible. What is the reason? It's weird, right? They are the church, they are supposed to ask everybody to have Bible. But now they don't allow, or they didn't allow anyone to have Bible. What happened? What's going on? Because they are trying to write another Bible. This is what happened during that time. The corruption of the Bible. They keep the original and then they printing the fake one and giving to all. Yeah? Alright. And no freedom of writing and thousands of books were banned during that time. Yeah? This is what happened. Okay. And then the social status obstacle, feudalism. What happened? Although church kept telling people that everyone is equal in the eyes of God, feudalism was still dominant in European life. This one. Okay? And then the nobles and the peasant. Just now. The nobles refers to the landlord, and then the peasant refers to the petani. Okay, and they are knights, vassals, serfs, and so on. There are many, what we call it, stages. Yeah? So the status is hereditary and unchangeable, and it caused oppression and denial of equal status and liberty. The retaliation against religion or church began during the Protestant Revolution by Martin Luther. Of course lah, they retaliate. Yeah? And then church was challenged of its authority and power, and people demanded explanation of corruption. And 3 solas of Protestantism were created during that time. Okay, Protestantism has many doctrines. One of the doctrines is called 3 sola. Yeah? This is not English word. Yeah, this is the Latin word, the Roman word. Yeah? Sola here means soul. Only. Okay? So one of the sola is called sola fide.
Only the religion.
Yeah? One of the fide is called one of the sola is called sola fide. Fide means faith. Yeah. So according to Protestant, only your iman, only your faith can save you, not the church. Because the Catholic keeps telling people only the church can save you. That's why you have to buy the indulgent letter. And they said, no, only your faith can save you. So when they use the word faith, faith is personal. So this is the beginning of the idea of personal freedom or individual freedom. Yeah? Alright. Okay, and the retaliation against social status. Just now, church done. Begin with Magna Carta. Those who study human rights, they are familiar with this term. So Magna Carta is the first document, okay, created in order to fight for the human rights. Okay, it's called the Great Chart. But it was not actually so great because it is still biased. If you read it, it is still biased. Okay, all right is given only to this one, LL, landlord. Yeah, and then later on followed by Bore. Bore is Bill of Rights of England. Okay, created in 17th century. Okay, because during that time there is actually a problem in the institution of a king in the royal institution of the England, because Queen Elizabeth has no, what you call it, has no heir during that time. Yeah, it's very biased as well, for your information. And then Bora, even more biased lah. Sorry bro, from America, Bill of Rights of America. Yeah, and the latest one in the modern time, UDHR, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, by the BBB or UN. You can also read this. It is not so biased, but it's quite biased, particularly towards religion. Yeah, alright. And lately or currently, there is another term introduced. They call it meta ethics. Okay, which is also trying to attack religion. Actually, yeah, you can read on the internet lah if you're interested. Okay, and then followed by the England Revolution, started by the idea of Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. These are all the philosophers. Okay, you can learn about them if you are interested. Okay, and then the American Revolution and the French Revolution, and after that, feudalism was abolished. So the element of liberalism in modern time, right now, what happened? Okay, relativism. Nothing is absolute. Everything is relative. I want to dress like this. It's up to me lah. There is no true and there is no wrong. No right and no wrong. Everything is relative. Yeah? And then skepticism, creating and having doubt of religion. And then agnosticism, really no religious consent. If they want to decide on anything, religion will not be taken into consideration. Yeah? And then atheism, total rejection of religion. And then religious pluralism, the belief that the truth is imbued in all religion. And then reason over revelation. Here, akal should come first. Actually, in the time of the sejarah, the history of Islam, this thing has happened already with the Khawarij, the Syiah Rafidiyah, and so on. Yeah, we will talk about that later.